All right, guys. Hey, welcome to the See It to Seize It stream. I got my good buddy Nick Ayala on the line with us, and I'll tell you guys this much. So you look at Family First Life, it's absolutely exploding. So if you're not growing like crazy, it's almost like you could be a weight or an anchor. And then you got some that it's like they've almost built wings and they're grabbing the company and say, hey, let's fly harder, faster, stronger, bigger. And Nick, you've done that, dude. I love talking to people that are just like, they're in it, man. Like they're getting after it. They're hungry. They're growing. They're thinking about the business nonstop, because I think that's contagious. I think a lot of times you got stuff that's said that could inspire, but I'm motivated by watching some stuff and seeing people and getting into that thought process. And so I'm excited to have you on the line with us today, man.
Thanks, dude. I appreciate you asking me to come on.
Absolutely, man. So, and Nick, you run FFL Prosperity Life, and you've
Priority Life.
Priority Life. And Nick, you've been here for how long now, man, with Family First Life?
About a year and a half.
Okay, so about 18 months. If you can kind of start, because I know you got a background that's completely opposite of mine, meaning that I've got one of those backgrounds where like it'll inspire some people, because I used to pump septic tanks making minimum wage. And then the funny thing, Nick, was, I want to say 2 weeks ago we had a meeting, and I was going through all these different backgrounds, and I stopped and I said, God, we need to get somebody up here like Nick to inspire the people that actually have a decent background, because they be a grocery bagger, Andrew, pumping septic tanks, And so, Nick, you've had some success in the past, and so I think that even is better proof of concept to what FFL has going on, because like for me, dude, like anything was better than pumping crap.
Yeah.
To be clear, I mean,
sure.
I could have been selling ice creams on the sidewalk in Los Angeles, or Chick-fil-A's, and I'd have been better off. So, but what did you see in FFL? And at what point in time did your perception of how valuable the company could be for you and your family, did it hit that level where all of a sudden you're like, man, you poured it on? What did that look like?
So for me, I don't think a lot of people know my background that much. I mean, I didn't grow up with a lot, my very middle class. Like, I remember there was times I was sleeping on floors and on a mattress on a floor with my dad. So it's not like I grew up that way, but I was fortunate enough to where I grew up. So that where I grew up, being in a certain part of South Florida, I got to see and I got to be around a lot of business successful people. I think we all have our definition of success. So I'll say like people that are successful in business. I got to see it and grow up around it. And I always was like, I want that. How do I get that? So it always inspired me to want to do more. So when I got to FFL, when I found FFL, I was coming from another business that, did well. I didn't enjoy it much. It did well financially. I didn't enjoy it. The market was changing, so I wasn't going to be in it forever. And insurance kind of fell in my lap. And as I was doing research on insurance companies, I found Family First Life. And it was funny because like when I was thinking about, I've ran employees before, I've ran businesses, and I know the value of treating people right. And so my thought was always like, hey, we should do it to where people have much better compensation and they're treated properly. I didn't really know the whole training side and everything like that we all have now. But my thought was always on that point. So when I found Sean in Family First Life, I was like, this is exactly what I would want to do. Like, this is exactly how I envision it, just way better and already done, right? And what Sean did and what Family First Life, everyone at Family First Life has done. So for me, it was a pretty easy fit. Like I understood, I think there's some people, Paul, that come in here that they don't understand the business side of this thing. Immediately takes them some time. That's all I saw. I actually saw it opposite. I didn't see the running side. I saw the business side. And it actually took me a minute to realize, well, you better go run business, because you don't want to be sitting here, one of those guys in an office telling people what to do and you haven't done it.
Right.
So like for me, it was almost opposite of how I approached this thing, or how I actually saw this thing from the beginning. So that was it was different because there wasn't a lot of people to talk to about that at the time, because it was just different. But for me, it was really simple, man. Giving somebody an opportunity that, one, they're being paid what they should be. They're being paid what they're worth. number one. Number two, the support and training. We can talk about carriers, but I don't think that's necessary. Support and training is crazy. But I think for me, dude, the culture, and I hate to use that word, it's kind of like a cliche,
Right.
but just for me being on a call with you today, right, or us doing this, it's just like it's people that are like-minded that want to help each other get better however they can. And I don't know any place like that, man. I don't know of any other company. I don't in any industry that really has that, at least the way that we have it. And what's really cool, man, is I've only been here a year and a half, and I've seen the culture change so much even in a year and a half for the better. And it just keeps getting better and better as more people come on, as bring new ideas and fresh things. And I think, man, it's fun, man. Like this thing gets so fun, Paul. To me it does.
Yeah.
I'm having a good time doing it. I enjoy it, man. I eat, sleep, and breathe it because I like helping people. Like I love seeing other people that come to us for help, them succeed. To me, that's my high at this point,
Absolutely, man. I love that. Well, when you look at like the trajectory that you're on the first 18 months, man, I mean, like, I know I talked to you, a couple of days back, and man, I just know we should be so much further, which is a great thing, man. It's like that happy discontent, where you're like, man, I'm grateful and excited that I'm here, but God, I know I could be up here. I could press this envelope. What do you think? I mean, because dude, you've rapidly hired to get to like, what did you issue pay last month?
Just about $500,000.
Okay, so to get to $500,000 in paid business in an 18-month, period, that's a big deal. What that means is that you've hired a lot of people. You've talked to a lot of people. When you step back and see, I love it too, because if somebody gets to 500 grand and it takes them 15 years, like they don't have as much wisdom in that process, because it was just it took them, like they were probably recruiting on a Monday and then they'd wait another week and a half to recruit again. When you're just like rapid fire, man, like you've got so much, like you're just in it, you see it, one action to the next action, the time frame is so close that you really get a good scale of why it's working and who does best. Talk about that. Like what do you think have been some good recruiting platforms that you've used? And then as you've talked to all these people and got to 500,000 in paid business, which is a lot of people making good money, what are some qualities that you say, hey, this is what, the top people do? This is kind of how I can kind of start to say, hey, these are commonalities of a good producer that's going to build this thing.
So I related a little bit back to the 80-20 rule, right? 80% of your business. And I think everyone's heard that before. And I don't think it's much different here. I think if you look at leaderboards, even yours or Southeast or whatnot, and you see there's a lot of people making a lot of money, and there's a lot more people that have the potential to make a lot of money, a lot more money. So I think when you're hiring, you kind of have to understand that. And I look for a lot of things. Like, I'm always trying to get better at it because I'm not perfect. But I try to always look for people that are asking the right questions. There's a lot of people you hire that don't ask any questions. I probably know where they're going to fit in, if they even fit at all. People that ask some questions, kind of just very generic or simple questions, I probably know where they're going to fit. And then every now and then you'll find some people that just really ask the right questions. And I think when you're hiring, man, and you could probably attest to this, depending on where you are. So like I talk to my guys, if they have 5 or 10 or 15 agents, right? They're at a level where they're growing. I think it's really important to make sure they're holding their hand, they're helping them, they're doing everything they can to get them the right and to get them successful. Because I feel that when people come to us, it's our obligation and duty to help them in any way we can to help them make money for their family. That's just how I feel. Until they show me that they don't want it. Right. And as soon as they show me they don't want it, I have to go give my time to the person that does want it. So I think protecting your time is really valuable. But I think in the beginning, if people could really help kind of hold hands a little bit to get those initial 10, 15 solid foundation writers that are actually working a little bit, get you to 100 grand or about that, senior sales manager area, give or take. I think that sets a platform for them to now go hire more and not have to hold as many hands and actually just push out people and plug them into the system. And I think that's where I've done a better job lately is I'm figuring out that I don't have to be the person that gives them everything. My job is to point them in the right direction and let the system do it, because the system's so refined now, and it's just getting better all the time. And that's, I think, what has helped me a lot. It's now, when I say I'm having fun now, I'm having more fun because I'm doing that. I don't have to feel obligated when someone's not writing, because I already set the tone, told them what needs to be done. And then if they call me and they're not doing those things, well, then and I ask the right questions to them, they realize they're not in the system properly, and they put it on themselves. So I think if, as managers, when we hire, if we can get people plugged in the system properly, and you point them in the right directions, it becomes easier to hire. It becomes a lot easier to hire. Platforms, I don't think I do anything crazy special. I think I work hard. I think I work a lot harder than some people. Not everyone, maybe, but I think I work a lot harder than a lot. And I don't think there's any substitute for that. I like I said, when I tell you I eat, sleep, and breathe this, I do. I don't take a lot of breaks. I remember the other day we were in Philly. Sean was up talking, and he just randomly asked me, he goes, "Nick, how much do you work?" And I was like, I don't know, like 80 hours a week. And then after he said that to me, I thought about it, and I'm like, that's not right, because I don't know how to quantify how much I work, to be honest with you, because it's like all day. It's every day. Yeah, I take breaks. I enjoy my kids. I enjoy my wife and my family, but I'm still working in some way, shape, or form, thinking of ideas, trying to figure things out how to be better. So if anyone's on this call and they want to grow, I think that's what it takes. I think organically you'll grow no matter what if you're in this long enough, because it's just almost impossible not to.
Right.
But to have fast growth and good growth, I think you have to, man, you got to eat, sleep, and breathe this thing.
Well, dude, I'd say to a couple of your points you made, to the work part of it, like you look at anybody that's great at anything, dude, they're going to say the same thing. They've got this unquenchable, like burning, ferocious desire to be great at that specific thing. You look at LeBron James or anybody that's great, dude, they eat, drink, and sleep it, whatever they're doing. If it's playing basketball, man, like if they're not shooting hoops, they're watching game film. If they're not watching game film, they're talking to somebody about it. And they can't help but have a conversation about the game, because that's what they're thinking about, right? A lot of times what we communicate and we voice, that's flowing from our heart. And so, if it's about gossip or this or that, and you're not talking about the business all the time, but dude, you ain't in the business enough. Because I don't care who I'm talking to, somehow it gets back around to the business. And it's unintentional. It's just because I'm thinking about this business nonstop. It could be my wife. It could be an aunt. It could be my next door neighbor. And that, they say, well, how do you one market hire? Well, dude, that's not even intentional. I just start talking about what I'm doing. And there's so much passion because it's all I do. I got passion for this game of FFL. And, when you look at, like, when you talk about recruiting and the people that you've worked with, I love how you put it, Nick, because, at the end of the day, and I think I heard this from Sean, he said that, most of the time when somebody is asked a question like, why do you think most people join FFL? Naturally, we speak to what's easily seen and what's commonsensical, which is like, dude, compensation, man. Like, you get paid up to 140 comp, there's bonuses, that's unbelievable. And then, then you think, well, leads, and you think, but when asked why people join FFL, it's support. It's somebody that actually cares about somebody that says, I care about you, I love you, I want to help you, I want your family to succeed, and I'm here for you. That's the number one thing that people point to in joining the company. And see, I think a lot of times what we get hung up on is believing that means that it all rises and falls on my shoulders. And that's not the case. They want somebody to lead, guide, and direct them in a system that's proven, a system that shows this is exactly what works and reproduces 20K after 20K producer. And so I think that's a big deal, is having that in mind. I lost you, Nick. There you are, dude. I knew you went frozen on me, and then you popped back. But hey, it's all good. I was basically piggybacking on some of the stuff you said because it inspired me, man. I'm like, I want to run now. But I was just talking to, like, the fact that when you said, you're not like hung up on the fact that somebody does or doesn't do it. Like, you plug them into the system. Like if I start a McDonald's, I want to know the person that's going to mentor me and coach me cares about me and my family.
Sure.
And I need that. And I'm looking for that support. But I also need to know that the system is successful. And after proof of concept after proof of concept, you step back to like, dude, yeah, they're absolutely successful.
100%.
And FFL, it's the same thing. You look at, Nick Ayala's group, and you look at Wetmore's group, and you look at, Mike's, and you look at Mark's, and you got all these people, and it's like, man, this works. And so I would just encourage everybody, to your point, Nick, as far as a call to action on it, is that you're not the magic. You don't have to wait to be great to hire, because you're not the magic. And see, when you become great, so to speak, you don't need to be the person talking to them anyways about all those things. That's why we got training calls and like I could write $2 million in annuities in a year, but guess what? I'm still not the best annuity guy. I'm still going to say, hey, listen to the AMS. That's the magic, the system. And that's how you can scale it. That's how you get 500 grand and pay business so quick, man. It's like you're just working smart and not thinking that. I think it's ignorance and arrogance. Yeah. And you're ignorant, so you think you can't hire. No, the system helps you. And then when you start seeing success, you become arrogant. Like, oh, I got to tell you now. Let me spend 45 minutes with you. Let me tell you what I know, And no, that's arrogance, and that's gonna limit you. So I love that, dude. I think that's spot on. Well, dude, give us some things, like if you're looking back, because it's been 18 months. I keep saying that, dude, because I think that's such a big deal. Like that just shows. Like, I believe your family is seeing crazy impact financially, but dude, what you're doing is changing so many other people's lives as they come on board, because it's a new standard. Be clear, dude, 5 years ago, that wasn't a standard. I wasn't talking to somebody that had done 500 grand in 18 months. So if you're talking to Nick day one, what are some of the stuff that you say, do this or don't do that? Like, what would that feedback be 18 months now in hindsight?
So a couple things. Don't try to do things yourself. I did that a lot in the beginning. It's just not necessary. The system, like we said, it's there. Use it. Since I've started using the system more, and I would say it hasn't been but maybe 7-8 months since I really got tapped in the way I should have gotten tapped in. We've seen more growth. We've seen more effect on people. So I would say that's number one. So it's just like we talk about, don't do yourself in the field. Make sure you call agents, your upline, top agents in the company, top managers, and reach out to a multitude of people. Don't do it yourself. Same thing when you're hiring. Use the system, use the help, use the people. I would say that's number one if looking back at me, because you're right, man. The more we keep doing this, and the further along I get in this, and we're having impacts on people's lives. And I don't think there's anything cooler than that. You've been in this longer than me, but I can tell you personally, and I'm sure you can attest, when you get those text messages, those calls, those emails that say, hey, I just want to let you know I'm so thankful for you. You changed my life. I don't think there's much better than that, man. It's probably one of the best feelings you could ever have. So I think if people understand that we're in the sales industry, but we're in the people business. We're in the people business of helping other people. And when we do that, everyone wins. How could you not be inspired and motivated and happy and excited when you're helping other individuals win all the way around you, and you're winning too? So
that's great, man. And I think that in the beginning, Nick, like when we're selling insurance, like if you just care about the client so much, dude, like what you don't know and your insecurity because you don't feel like you're the person that can educate them, it doesn't matter. It's like the whole cliche thing that, people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. Yes, it's cliche, but that's so true in what we do, and that's how you can go out and be a 20K producer real quick and not have the right phraseology and vocabulary. No, you just have your heart. Like, I know that Bob, Mary, if you die tomorrow, like what it's going to look like. And I sincerely care about you. This is about you, not me. And I think it's the same thing that I'm hearing from you when it comes to building your business, that, it's that sincerity of like, I care about your success, and my reward, my thank you that you can give me is winning for your family. That's a thank you that you can pay me back with, is you having a different lifestyle. So
100%. I mean, I think a lot of people in the beginning, I know me too. Can you hear me okay, by the way? Or am I choppy?
Yeah, you're good now. You froze up for about a second. And I don't know, sometimes if you just got, this great posture where you just don't, where it's just like you're in it, or if you're frozen. So I just keep going. So.
That's great. I think for me, like in the beginning, I think everybody, when you first get in this business, you see the money. And people maybe heard me say this before, and I'll probably say it forever, because we all get in this business for the money, because that's what we see. We got to feed our families. That's why we get in. And I always sit here and I challenge people. I say, if you can find a way when you get in this business, and eventually, for me, it switched pretty quick because I was helping people fast. If you can get to the point where mentally it's not about the money, it's about how many people I can affect, how many people I can help personally change their life, change their situation, even if it's from the client's point of view, change their family's situation when they die. When you think of it that way, I think naturally the world gives things back to you more and quicker and more abundance. And I feel like I'm experiencing that now for the first time, because I had, before, I had a business that made money, but it had nothing to do with other people. It had to do with me. We've all been in the gutter. It's always about me when you're broke, right? It's always about me and what my issues. But I think when we can switch it and make it about other people, man, there's something powerful about that in the universe. And that's, to me, the best thing about Family First Life is relationships. I talk about it all the time, man. John Wetmore, he's become one of my best friends. We talk to each other a lot, and I wouldn't have had it for this business. Now, do we talk business? Yeah, we do. But we're also friends, and I wouldn't have had him as a friend if I wasn't in this business, along with a lot of other people. And I'm continuing to develop those relationships with individuals. And to me, that's the coolest part. And if we can all make a ton of money together, why not? That's even better. And help other people. Hell, let's do it. So that's really about Family First Life, dude.
Well, hey, as we wrap up, man, I'll tell you what. I think that what you just said is one of the truest things that it's almost, I think, not spoken to a lot, because it could come across as like, and I don't want to say corny, but like, dude, like I'm a better like husband and father and leader because of Family First Life. Now, the money is why I got here, right? Like you said, and God, I mean, my family's life's forever different. I mean, my mom's life's forever different. Be able to support her and buy her a house, and so the impact that money's allowed me to have, the church that I donate to is forever different. That if I miss, all of a sudden my account doesn't, send a check for the tithes, like they know, they're like, hey, are you all right? Are you alive? I'm here. But above all that, man, like the group of people that lead this company and that you can connect with, and it's you track who you are, not what you want. And so the company is attracting just people that care about people, that have the right character, and it's just it'll help you develop in so many other areas of your life. It makes such a big difference. And so, I mean, I think that was very well said. And I think it's not spoken to a lot because, the way it could, be perceived. And I know most people are looking at, hey, I that's all great, but I need money. Well, I think above and beyond that, you're going to have, character that's brought out of you that allows you to have, in my opinion, true success in your life. So, Nick, man, thank you for hopping on, bro. Phenomenal, stream. We'll get this out. And thank you for serving the team, man, and hopping on and giving us your insight. It is invaluable, and greatly appreciate it, man.
I appreciate you doing everything you do, for sure.
All right.
Thanks for having me.